Hey everyone, it's Joe from Gadgetry Tech, and today I am reviewing the WinStudio Sin65. Not Sin65, you heathens. It's about math. This whole concept about this keyboard is math-based, and there's going to be some pretty cool stuff on the PCB and the back of the board. Now, this was sent to me for review, which explains why I got it at the timing that I did. So there's a group buy starting with this on September 19th that runs until October 20th. It's a limited window. Normally I don't do stuff like this, but every time I've reviewed a gaming keyboard, a lot of the comments are like, hey, you should review a higher end mechanical keyboard or a custom kit. I've had several comments about the quality of the boards I reviewed and how it stacks up to ones like this, but I've never really experienced it on my own. So to keep things fair, open, unbiased, this is a learning experience for me to compare to a lot of other gaming keyboards I have, but I also want to make it informative for people who are also looking to make that transition into a higher board. Or perhaps you're much more familiar with this than I am and you know what you're looking for. I'm going to cover it as best as I can so you can see the close-ups, how it's laid out, what it sounds like, etc. And then we'll talk about the switches and keycaps I decided to go with as well. This board goes from $288 to $308 and does not come with switches or keycaps. It's a blank canvas for you to design. Now, there are several color choices you can purchase online, and the $288 price point gets you a wired hot swap or soldered keyboard. And then if you go to $308, that gives you a Bluetooth capable keyboard with batteries. So I went with wired hot swap because I've never really seen the benefit to a wireless keyboard. You have to charge it too often, and at that point I might as well just commit to a wire. All right, so enough talking, right? Let's open this up and see what it looks like. I'm pretty excited to crack this. I waited for this part of the video to show you so I could be surprised with you. So get some top foam, an installation document, which is really a diagram showing you what order to put things in, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Based off the weight, yeah, here we go. There's multiple pieces, so we're going to open up each one here. I'm assuming this is like all the gaskets and stuff to actually assemble it based off the weight and how it feels. So let's slide this out and see what's in the box. And that's correct. So we have some more tools in here. This is not like just unbox and then start using it type keyboard. You do have to assemble everything, and there are a couple options. You can do a gasket mount or a top mount. I'll likely be going with a gasket mount, and then we'll show you the differences between using different layers of foam. So you have the wires here. There's USB. Now there's one for Bluetooth, I believe, and one for just USB connection only. And then you have the little rubber pads for the gasket mount. And there's the USB terminal there. Some stabilizers and the gasket kits. And then here's the PCB, which has a nice... So again, this whole thing is math themed. Let's slide that out. Look at that board. There's no doubt some people that are like math majors or just really into numbers and stuff and are going to look at this board and like it just for that alone, just knowing that it's there, because it's kind of cool and different. So now this obviously supports 5-pin switches. Sin 2023 512 version 1. So this was made in May. It's a nice looking board. I'll measure the thickness of it. I have a digital caliper so I can measure that too. And then you have the different gasket kits for both the back of the PCB and the chassis itself. Holy cow, this thing's heavy. I need to get a scale out just to see how much this weighs by itself. This is a serious piece of metal. I love the gray. Oh my gosh. There's like the slightest hint of a blue-green tinge to it, which is nice. And look at the back. I'm going to peel the film off later. I don't want to put my prints over it while I'm building it, but good lord. That is solid. Now, these little cutouts right here, this is for if you got the wireless version, you can do the battery pack. Obviously, I didn't, so I am assuming and hoping that they have some foam pieces to fill that cavity just to get rid of any weird noises. And then, yeah, so I guess we're going to start with the assembly process and see how it goes. All right, so as you saw, there's a lot of different ways you can make this keyboard sound. I've spent some time with this. I'm in different clothes because I've taken a few days to kind of enjoy the keyboard before releasing my final thoughts. Now, I went with a different configuration than what I thought I would settle on. Originally, I thought I want something a little more tactile or linear, which this has that sound to it. And I ended up switching to the EpoMaker Sea Salts, the silent switch, which is a little bit softer. I don't want to say it's gummy, but it doesn't have as hard of a bottom end when you bottom out. It's just damn near silent. And being an audio person, I love the impact I got on the sound performance. That's such a huge thing for me. The chassis has no resonance. It's so inert. Part of that comes from the design. Part of it is the fact that this is a giant block of aluminum. It's a gasket mount, thick PCB that it's just, when you pay for this kind of a board, the pinginess that you get on less expensive boards and the resonance when you like smash certain keys, it's more apparent on less expensive keyboard kits. And with something like this, that was never an issue for me. Now, I know this isn't going to be for everybody. Some people want rapid triggers, some want RGB or more customization, custom hotkeys, macros built into the board, things like that. This is a fairly straightforward board when it comes to features, but it's just a premium board in its basic form. You're getting a really high quality aluminum chassis. You have a lot of configuration options, as you saw. So I ended up going with both pour-on foams underneath the board. I went with the polycarbonate top plate, the sea salt switches, and then the EpoMaker caps, which I absolutely love these caps. I don't want to butcher the name. So it's the Kono KDS Solarized caps from Apos.audio, the audio company that I've gotten headphones from. So they're selling caps now. Now I have them down here. I have the XDCs, KCP Masters, YMCKs. I bought a bunch of different keycaps just to experiment. I prefer PBT because I don't like the ABS shine, but I wanted something kind of bold and gave it color. I picked the gray chassis because I can effectively go with any keycap color I want, but I really wanted something that was cool with grays, blues, and teals. It fits my channel, it fits my decor, and I just love the way it looks. It's still really bold. These are PBT caps that are 1.5 millimeter thick, so they have a good thickness to them. They sound excellent. The print and the legends are great. I just think the whole thing came together really well. I will have links in the description below to help you find those caps if you want a similar build. They carry more than these on their website, but obviously you may already have caps that you like. I just wanted to highlight something that stood out. It was noticeably better than all the other caps I bought. So the prints were better and so were the colors. And I had no defects. I actually had the XDK board or keycap set. One of them was defective. So I get the allure of high end. It makes sense to me now after experiencing a board like this. And I hope between talking about it and doing the unboxing in the beginning, showing the PCB, showing the assembly process, what kind of sound differences you can get, and of course these beautiful close-ups to see how every angle has detail. You're paying for part of that. You're paying for the escape key that's kind of on its own, which they said would reduce accidental key presses. I've never had that issue. However, a lot of people buy artisan keycaps and go with a really custom build. If you're spending this much on the board, which is effectively $300, some people do buy a custom keycap, whether it be an all metal build or they use a special escape key. So I think what's cool about this is it really presents it separately and keeps that whole special thing going. So it's really the design. You're paying at this point for a look that you're going for. It's not that this board beats every other board out there. It executes what they wanted to do really well. It's extremely high in quality, and it's in a limited production run. The group buy goes for about a month. I'll have links in the description to help you find that group buy, and it starts in just a couple days. So I hope you found this video helpful and you learned something new like I did along the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to see you at the next video. I'll see you next time. Bye.